Lake O'Hara, one of the Canadian Rockies' most sought-after campsites. With its strict daily quota, the trails remain quiet and well-maintained. This beautiful destination in Yoho National Park offers world-class photography and hiking away from the tourist crowds.
I am at Lake O'Hara. Lake O'Hara is actually just down there. I thought I'd share a few ways to visit and a few places to photograph here as well. I'm sure if you're watching this video, you're probably interested in visiting Lake O'Hara and doing some research, or after watching this video, you're going to want to come and visit Lake O'Hara. So there's a few different ways you can do that. You've got three options of staying overnight here really. You have the Elizabeth Parker Hut, which is run by the Alpine Club of Canada. You have the Lake O'Hara Campground and also the Lake O'Hara Lodge. With all three of those accommodation options, you are going to have to book pretty far in advance. For me, the lodge, it's beautiful, and some of those huts that sit right by the lake are incredible, but they go for about $900 a night, so that's ruled out for me completely straight away. The Alpine Club of Canada Elizabeth Parker Hut, if you can grab that, it's fantastic. You've got cooking facilities, you've got log burn fires in there, and also you've got a nice warm place to sleep. That comes with a bus ticket in as well. Again, you have to book that really far in advance, and I'll leave a link down below on where you can do that. And then same with the campsite. You're going to have to book probably back in February or January, I believe, for any time of the summer. So you're really going to have to be organised and get on that in advance. Otherwise, your only hope is finding a cancellation and snagging that at some point. But however you get here, it is incredible, especially at this time of year where we've got endless larch trees, beautiful weather, and just perfect conditions for hiking and photography. Lastly, if you're interested in coming in here for the day, you can do so. It's an 11-kilometre access road that a bus runs up and down. You can hike that, but to be honest with you, it's not particularly interesting. The bus system runs on a lottery system now. So I believe you have to pop on, you pay about $5 to be entered into the lottery, and then when it gets drawn, you may or may not get a place. So you can try that multiple times and try and get a bus in for the day. And getting the bus is definitely worth it. You can just maximise your time whilst you're in here, rather than having to do that 11 kilometres up kind of like a dusty fire road. As for hiking up in Lake O'Hara, there are loads of different trails, lots of them kind of intersect, or you can shorten and lengthen hikes, but the main one, I suppose, is the Alpine circuit. It's kind of what Lake O'Hara is famous for. At the moment, I'm stood on Opabin Prospect, that kind of iconic view you've probably seen on Instagram. But the Alpine circuit starts off over here at Weewaxie Gap, goes all the way across and down to Lake Oisa. You have got to clear a place called the Huber Ledges, which is quite exposed, to be honest. So if you're not an experienced hiker, it might be a section you want to cut out. From Lake Oisa, you come up and round the Yuckness Ledges and onto the viewpoint here. You can then carry on the Alpine circuit all the way behind us here, and then back down to camp, or you can call it a day here and just head back down from here. What we've done today, we've decided to shorten the trip a little bit, shorten the hiking, because we've actually been hiking quite a lot the last 4 days. So we hiked up from camp up to Lake Oisa, across the ledges, and to Opabin Prospect, where we're going to spend sunset, which is where you get the best pictures. It means we've cut out a lot of the elevation gain, a lot of the exposure, and a fair bit of distance, but we're still getting to see the best of Lake O'Hara. And to be honest, that's what I would recommend, especially if you aren't an experienced hiker, or you don't like exposure or heights, then you're still going to get to see a lot without having to take in all that elevation gain. So something to consider depending on your level. One of the reasons Lake O'Hara is so popular and sought after, and people kind of seek it out to camp here, is that it's kind of luxury or almost like serviced backcountry camping. You get the bus from your car park, buses you directly into the campsite, so you can take luxuries like cheese or wine or beer. And then when you're at the campsite, you've got picnic benches, you've got a communal fire pit, you've got the nicest drop toilets you ever see with potable drinking water, you've got shelters with cooking stoves and stoves inside to keep you warm. There's a bunch of different facilities. There's even a shop selling carrot cake, so you kind of get the backcountry experience, but with a bit of luxury thrown in. The advantage of the quota system as well is that everywhere in the Canadian Rockies is getting busier and busier every single year. Like Moraine Lake and Lake Louise and all those places are getting really hectic, but no matter what time of year you come here and no matter when you come here, it's not going to get busier. There will never be more people here than are allowed in each day. So realistically, you can come here in 5 years' time, in winter, summer, autumn, spring, and you're going to get the place to yourself pretty much. As for photography at Lake O'Hara, I mean, the options are pretty, unlimited. We've been lucky enough to come here at the end of September, which is prime larch season. There's loads of yellow larches kind of spread around the valleys, but plenty of them up here on the Opabin Plateau. So the main spot I always come to is the viewpoint Opabin Prospect. You've got that really iconic view just out the back here, which makes great sunset or sunrise photography. So our plan is for this trip, we're going to be spending sunset up here, got a few kind of snacks with us, and then tomorrow morning we're going to spend sunrise at Lake O'Hara, because there are some great reflections you can get of the huts and also some great canoes you can use in foreground. Along the way I'm sure we'll pick up lots of kind of more minimalist and reflection shots of larches as well, but for now we'll photograph the main iconic view.
The photos from that evening didn't turn out all that exciting, so I thought I'd take the opportunity to show you some images I'd taken on previous visits, including what this viewpoint looks like during the winter.
Good morning. We're at Lake O'Hara shorefront this morning. We've made the short kind of 15-minute walk from the campsite down here for sunrise this morning. Great thing about this time of year is that sunrise is kind of 7:40, I think. So not too early, gives you enough time to kind of get up and get down here, which is really nice. We're shooting at the docks just by the Lake O'Hara Lodge. You've got some iconic kind of red canoes that you can use as foreground here, as well as great reflections and great mountain peaks. Little bit of cloud in the sky today, so hoping for a little bit of colour, but we'll kind of see how that pans out. Going to take a couple of shots here and then head on around the lake and take a few more as well, so I'll show you those locations as we go.
We were hoping for a little colour, but ended up with a lot. These were some of the best conditions I've ever seen at Lake O'Hara.
So the sun's fully risen here at Lake O'Hara. Hopefully you've seen from that last shot that the conditions we got over by the canoe docks was pretty epic. I think that's the best sunrise I've ever had down there, so I'm really happy with some of those images. I'm just down here on the other side, and you can see behind me that those are the huts actually that cost, I think, $900 a night to stay at. I mean, obviously the location is insane, but that's a bit out of my budget for sure anyway. But they do make great photographs, so you can get good reflections of the mountain behind as well, a little bit of flower in the foreground. But I'm going to grab a couple of those shots and I'm going to leave the video here for today. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope it's kind of been informative. If you have any questions about coming to Lake O'Hara, feel free to reach out, write in the comments and let me know. And yeah, do subscribe as well if you're interested in photographing in the Rockies or hiking and camping around here, because I'll be doing lots of content about that. But for now, I'll leave you with a few more images that I captured whilst I was here, and hopefully I'll see you on the next one.